Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a long-awaited return of It's a Football Thing. I'm your host, RJ, joined by my fellow co-host and champion mates, Scott the Gooner, Rod the Red Devil. Boys, we're back. Great to see you. Rob, I'll go to you first, mate. How you doing?
Good, mate. I've really been looking forward to it. Finally got my mic that everyone's been busting my balls for the last year. So I've got my mic, joined the pack. Feel like a real podcaster now, and I'm ready to kick off the new season.
Good man. Scott, what do you reckon? That's a signing of the season. Forget
Mate,
Haaland, forget Mbappe. Rob's got his mic. That's it. That's the
he,
pinnacle.
here we go. Confirmed. New microphone for Rob on a 3-year deal, and then he'll have to upgrade it. All parties are happy. Not a bad transfer fee from EB Games. Good business, man. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
I know it should be called the episode title New Mike, Who This? But anyway, it is great to be back. I've missed all the on-field action. I've been watching my son feverishly from the sidelines, and I have to admit, it's great to watch the little kids play, but it's not like the action on the field in the Premier League and all the other big leagues. And at least it's good to see some movements, or at least for some of our clubs, at least in the transfer market. But it's great to see the people in the live audience, Scott. We've got a few people in the house tonight.
Yeah, a couple of friends here. We've got the concierge, Ronaldo to Chelsea. Best signing. Well, we're going to talk about Mr. CR7 and where to from here. We got Tom from the United Pubcast. Congratulations on that big 1,000. I know you boys have been doing a madness over there, so well done. Make sure you check him out. We got Justin here. Justin, we've had a good break, man. We've had a good break. We got our man Marty, Aussie Spur TV. He started his channel too, so of course show Marty some love. Had the pleasure of joining him the other day. The concierge. Hope we're all safe with the rain. Yeah, look, it's been
Well
crazy.
said.
We're about 10 minutes from Camden, where all those poor buggers have had their homes, businesses flooded. This is the third time I think this year, so it's been mental. But I know us boys are all good. We're within 5 minutes of each other, so we're lucky. We're lucky. We got Daniel here. Boys are back in town. Scott feeding them Arsenal owners, and it's not the pink kit. The pink kit is coming, mate. I told you, Jesus has come to Arsenal, and I'll be buying that pink kit. And declared. All right, here we go. Boys, plenty of business, plenty of deals so far for some of our clubs anyway, not all. Let's talk about your boys, RJ. Let's jump straight over to the Blues, because I'm not going to lie, I thought this was going to be a new era. I thought these new owners were going to come in and want to make an impact. Crickets, what's going on at Chelsea?
Yeah, well, obviously the big bang was around us getting the new ownership, Todd Bowley and Todd's team of the new board of directors, of course, which is great from a governance perspective because they're coming in. But what the most important thing from a fan perspective is, obviously they've settled that. The problem from us is that we haven't been able to go and make any of those big statement signings or offload some of those excess players. And there's a fair few of them, to be honest with you. But with all due respect, I think as a fan that considers himself quite balanced and reasonable, I understand that there's a lot of things to happen first rather than just going and buying a bunch of players. So with that on the background, it has been quite nerve-wracking to see us being linked with so many players, but falling over the last hurdle. But as a journalist that I've been following quite a lot lately, Ben Jacobs, has been quite good from CBS, and he's got a lot of insights. I recommend him to anyone who wants to listen. He's very right in the sense that clubs have multiple targets that we hear of, but multiple targets we don't hear of course, in the background, planning for multiple contingency scenarios. And while I'm disappointed Rafinha news has come and gone, Lukaku business, that was one of the good things that have happened. Got him off the books quickly for a year, which is nice. But Sterling, very close apparently. It's interesting to see where it goes, Scott. And Rob, I know you're nervous like me being a United fan, but it's just one of those things. I'm not panicking yet, but as I posted earlier in my tweet, if we don't start getting some action soon, it's going to create more uncertainty for players that are there now that want to leave, but also for Tuchel, who starts off on a clean slate with the new owners. They backed him, but at the same time, he's got to prove his worth just like anybody else.
Robbie, you're on mute, my man.
Just quickly, what about the Delit news? Any closer there? Do you think that'll happen? Apparently, Bayern Munich's coming in the last couple of days or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's a good point. As someone we've been tracking very closely, along with Koulibaly, of course, that's been another big
Koundé
name.
as
And
well.
as you, Koundé, who that's the never-ending story. You ask any Chelsea fan, it's been for the last 2 seasons. But for me personally, I think Delit would make a great signing. I'd also love us to dip our foot or put our foot into the ring for Bastoni from Inter, another quality player. But I think him along with Skriniar probably looking elsewhere. But Delit looks like it's more likely going to happen. But you just don't know with Chelsea at the moment. I'm actually pretty concerned about what's happening in the midfield situation. There's a lot of up in the air stuff going on with both Kante and Jorginho, and I just want some resolution shortly.
Hey, I want to touch on something you said earlier, RJ. And you mentioned this briefly. I don't know if it's you trying to be sneaky and dodge a topic. You mentioned Lukaku.
Never, mate. Never dodge.
You almost sounded like you were happy with the business and you thought this was great business. Let's call a spade a spade. This was an awful, awful mess up by Chelsea. It was a mess up of epic proportions. Him wearing, and I'm going to stick up for you here, the shock horror. Him wearing that 90, that is absolute shithousery at its finest. And you know what? That's it's just dirty. For me, that's not a football thing. Like I love the dark arts. But him taking that number, it's just the pinnacle of disrespect.
Now, let me clarify, mate. You know what I mean. I wasn't skimming over it. Totally agree, mate. It's a good case study of how not to conduct transfer business, because he came in, he was the big hope that he was going to plug a lot of the issues that we had in our attack, which is still prevalent. But the reality is he's on big wages. He didn't want to be there, apparently. So you've got to resolve it. For all of the non-business that we've done, so we haven't wrapped up any attackers, we haven't bought any new defenders as yet. We've got a bunch of returning loanees and a bunch of players that we want to let go. At least the good business is we've got rid of a 90 million plus pound problem for the year. That's the good thing that Todd Bowley and his team have done. So I've got to commend them on that. And for Inter too, they've done great business. They've made like a 90 million profit on this guy. So credit to Inter, my other team. But also credit to Chelsea in the sense that they've got rid of this guy because he's obviously no good for us.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. So that's a little bit of an outline of what's going on the Chelsea end. Just want to say hello to a couple more people. We got Matthew here. I was having a good chat to Matthew today. Can't believe people think Eriksen is a better signing. We're going to talk about Mr. Eriksen in just a moment. Paul from the Tomb Review, again, another channel that's just doing amazing things. We've got Emad here from Man Cave United, him and Adam. Again, I was watching them the other night with my popcorn. Plenty of excitement. We've got Christopher here. Thought the 90 was the amount. That's a great comment by Christopher there.
Mate, I'm with you, Chris.
We got Munzie Talks in the house. Good evening. And let's just quickly check these comments before we talk Eriksen. There was definitely a feel at United that Lukaku was a bad egg in regards to professionalism. And I mean, he hasn't showered himself in glory, has he, boys? Tell you what.
It goes two ways, Scott, just on Lukaku. Everybody's talking about his poor return. I agree. It was bad and injuries got involved. The interview was catastrophic. But equally, if I'm being fair and honest about the whole situation, I don't think Tuchel and the way that we've played necessarily got the best out of him. It goes both ways. He needed to adopt and adapt, but I think equally we didn't get the most out of him. So it's a bit of a shared accountability. So again, a case study on a failed transaction.
Fair shout. Before we jump to Robbie, there are almost 20 of you in the live chat. What a way to return. Coming back with a bang, boys. Please make sure you smash that like button if you're new. If you haven't been here before, hit that subscribe. I think we're 4 subs off 600. I feel like it's been 600 years that we've been moving towards this. Let's get there tonight. Take your missus's phone. Steal a phone on the street. Just subscribe. Don't steal. We don't condone that. But sub. Let's get to that 600. Robbie, Munzie Talks, saying that if United can get Martinez and De Jong, as well as Eriksen, and I'm not sure if it's Malaysia.
Malaysia, yeah.
Yep, that'd be great transfer business. Ornstein and Fab are both basically saying Eriksen is done. It looks like it's just a matter of time. talk to us about some of those signings and about Eriksen in particular.
Yeah, look, I'll start with Eriksen. He's probably the one at the moment when I'm very happy with this, to be honest, because we've had so many outgoings. You know, we've lost 2 World Cup winners, Pogba, Mata, Matic. You know, we've had Lingard's at the door. You know, there's quite a few. Obviously, there's a few cuss players. Henderson's just gone out on loan to Nottingham Forest, so we needed to get a lot out. A lot of them, we didn't get no return. Most of them were out of contract or we let them go, so we haven't got much money to go out and, you know, pump up our transfer budget with. But that was a big thing to start clearing out the deadwood, trying to start the new slate kind of thing. With Eriksen, I think this is like pretty much a like for like with Mata for me. A top professional, Premier League proven player. He's 30 years old. I'm more than happy to get him on a free, you know. Is that what you don't want to call him these days? I'm sure there's a signing on fee, but I think he's a great player to have. I don't know, he could push someone like a Fernandez in the team, even if he's just going to be a squad player, which I think he will have a more important role than a squad player. But yeah, I just think he's a top professional and someone that I'd want at my club, mate. And one of those players that's, you know, again, unlike a Pogba who's not a social media star, he's going to come in. I think he'll work hard. He's already got a bit of a relationship with Ten Hag. Obviously, after he had the unfortunate event at the Euros, when he did come back before Brentford, he trained with Ten Hag at Ajax. So I think there's a lot of good, I'm sure he knows the system under him as well. So yeah, look, I'm really happy with the Eriksen deal. The left back from Feyenoord, Tyrell Malacia. I'm excited about this. He's going to come in. He's going to want to play his 4-3-3. He's going to want to do a lot more dominant and attacking football, especially with fullbacks. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. We've got, you know, quite a few left backs there, so I'm sure someone's going to make way eventually. Tellers is the rumored to be going outwards. I'd like to actually see this guy. If he has a big preseason, I'd like to see him push Luke Shaw for a starting berth against a Brighton or a Brentford in those first 2 games. I think Liverpool is a big game, especially in the Premier League, but he's a young 22-year-old, again, out of the Dutch league, obviously known and adored by Erik Ten Hag. And I think that's what he wants at the moment. I think he's trying to bring a lot of players in that he's going to trust. That's the biggest thing. He's come to the Premier League, which is going to be a hard league, but I think if he can get 3, 4, 5 players that he knows and they know him, I think that's going to be a bit of a lift up for him.
It's funny though, Rob, because you know what? I'm just thinking, a player you trust in the Dutch league may not be a player that you trust in the most competitive and intense league in the world, but you can certainly see there's already some steps in that direction. And dare I say, looks like United are about to start the process. So I can't wait. I was watching you boys the other night on Emad and Adam's channel, and there was a lot of talk about patience and backing the manager and sticking through the team. I'll tell you from firsthand experience, not easy. Not easy when things get bad. You probably see me like a roller coaster in the last couple of years with Arteta. It's not easy to follow that process, but going to have to wait and see. I have a feeling you guys are going to start eating each other alive after about 10 weeks because I don't think it's going to be a pretty start, to be completely honest.
It's a big question mark at the moment, man. And look, I agree with the point. It's a risk. Everything's a risk. Every transfer is a risk. Players from the Dutch league is a risk. But I told you he's going to come in, like I said. The trust thing is going to be big for him, and players that know his system that's going to help them fasten and quicken it all up. That's going to be a big thing for him. So, look, again, I think we're doing a bit of a battle with you guys for Lozano Martinez. This is someone I do think will possibly get over the line over you guys. Again, only because of the links. Obviously, he played under Ten Hag at Ajax. The Van der Sar obviously being the CEO over there. I think that's going to be a bit of a strong connection with United. But look, this guy is the one I'm actually hoping we get him as well because he's a very, very versatile player by the look of him. It says he can play midfield. Obviously, he can play left back and centre back. So centre back is a position we definitely need to be strengthening in. But I've always said the midfield we need to be strengthening as well. And we still haven't got a defensive-minded midfielder for years and years. So it'll be interesting if we do get this. If he does go centre back, which we've got quite a few options in Varane, Lindelof, and Harry Maguire, or if he does, maybe play in a sixth position. But again, we'll have to see. First, we've got to get him.
Hey,
And
hey, Rob, you know what? The good thing is now that Poch is gone, maybe could put Erik ten Hag in a director of football role and bring this guy in if things go up after 6 months. What do you reckon?
Hey, you know what? I put this up. I'm like, come on, Robbie, take a hint, mate. George has given us some breaking news, and you're talking about blokes from La Liga. This is breaking news. When this comes on the screen, we stop and talk about Poch. We're not worried about some Dutch kid that you guys are going to want benched in 2 weeks. But let's jump to Poch. Let's look at this quickly because this is big news. This, to me, makes Mauricio Pochettino the highest profile manager, even though he's not won anything in his time at Spurs. This makes him the highest profile manager on the market at the moment. RJ, what's your reaction to this news? And thank you, George, for popping that in the chat too.
Yeah, well, he's the second highest profile after Ollie, of course, Scott. But put Ollie to the side for a minute. Let's be honest. I think there'll be a lot of top clubs chasing Poch. To be honest with you, it's just which club at the moment is likely to snap him up? Does he take a bit of a break for now? Does he look for international? I don't think so. He'd want to jump straight back in, put his hat into the ring, so to speak. It's just, this is huge, man. There'll be a lot of board directors sitting around the table saying, how can we bring this guy in? From a Premier League perspective, I'm just thinking, you look at the top 6, they all seem to be pretty settled now. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, man. I'm keen to see Gaultier as well, what he can do at PSG, because that seems to be a bit of a poison chalice, as we all know. So yeah,
Absolutely.
big news from Fab the man. Rob,
do you want to get rid of Ten Hag and take this fella?
No, mate, no. Well, I told you, I backed my manager. I think that you guys, you were screaming for him a few years ago,
Possibly.
And we got that on. You said on the podcast, I'll take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I did, but now that we're at the beginning of the season, like I said at the end of the last one, I wasn't happy with how it ended. I absolutely was livid with how it ended. We bottled it. I don't care what your positive over the top Arsenal fans have to say, but I try and look at it realistically. We bottled 4th. We should have finished 4th. But I did say, if they're going to back him, they've got to back him. And they have backed Arteta. Again, we're seeing that. We'll talk about some of Arsenal's signings soon. But they backed him now. You can't give him the pieces he's asked for and then get rid of him. So you guys know, and we'll talk about this in the preview for the season, but my minimum expectation for the Arsenal, I've said, is Champions League or bust. I don't care how we get there. If we win the Europa League, brilliant. If we get there by finishing in the top 4, brilliant. Don't care how we're there, but we have to be there. So
if I was you then, Scotty, I'd be getting the whispers out into Poch's ear saying, if we don't get Champions League next year, just hang around, go have a holiday for a year, or even maybe by the time January comes, when you guys
he won't hang around.
Don't think he's going to wait for us, man. But this is an interesting one from Matthew. He says, I put a bet that Poch will take a break and end up at a team like Juventus. Maybe might end up over there.
Might go to Real Madrid, Scott. You never know. Ancelotti's getting a bit on now. You never know what his plans are. I could see him going to Real Madrid one day. You just don't know.
We are 2 away from 600. It's going to happen during this stream, boys. It's going to happen. We got Sammy in the house. Make sure you check his Instagram. It's in a league of their own. He does some awesome, authentic retro kits. I've got plenty of them from him myself. Man Cave, call the locksmiths. Gotta love it. Right. The big news. Cristiano Ronaldo. Rumors that he wants out. The prodigal son who returned was a really good player for you last season when you look at how your squad performed. But the rumors are now out that he wants to go. Who can afford him? God knows. Chelsea's name has been mentioned there. So I'm really curious to get both of your thoughts on this. For me, if this club's not going to invest, and I'm talking about Man United, in quality competitors, this is a guy who's played at the top everywhere. He doesn't want to be playing with 18-year-old left backs from Feyenoord. Like, there's youngsters like Mbappe, Haaland, those kind of boys. He doesn't want to be playing with kids from Feyenoord. His career's coming to an end, and he wants to win. This is something we all know about Ronaldo. Is it a little bit weak to be running away from the team in trouble, I'm going to let you boys talk about that. But there are 21 of you here. Make sure you smash that like button because we're about to hear the boys' thoughts on Cristiano Ronaldo. Robbie, you first, mate.
Yeah, look, I had a good conversation with some of the boys in the chat here the other night. And look, I'll tell you how it was. Big shocking news right now. That's what shocks me the most. That's what upsets me the most. It's how it's just come out a week before preseason starts. If this, I expected and I called this quite a few games out before the end of the season last year. I said, no Champions League, no Ronaldo. He's not going to hang around for Europa League. And, again, we sold him last year to bring him over. He was looking for a way out of Juve. We sold him the plan. We're going to go for a challenge for Champions League. We're going to challenge for the title. We backed the manager. We come off the back of a season when we just came second and looked all good. We went massively backwards, ended up coming sixth, just avoided Conference League. And he's not built for that. He's you can say it's selfish, but that's how a player like Ronaldo is. He's got his bar set high, and he's got his ambitions. He's still at the top of his game. He wants to still play Champions League football. 19 years of Champions League football will be a bit hard in his resume to see 1 year of Europa League there hanging around at this point of his life. But look, I completely understand where he's coming from there. I just don't like it how he hasn't given the notice. Like I said, if that was his decision, Champions League or bust, why didn't he just say this or kind of say goodbye at the end of the season? That's my biggest kind of upset part about it. Obviously, the links, Bayern's hanging around. Chelsea's the big one. A few random ones like Napoli. Look, it depends how bad he really wants to get out and if the rumors are true. I'm happy if he was to leave. Fair enough. United would have to act quickly to go and get a striker in because we're very slim in that department. Don't go to Chelsea. If you go to Chelsea, he's going to wreck it in for the love of the fans. That's the biggest thing because Chelsea for me could afford him. And Todd Bowley, new player like a new manager, new CEO, American CEO. I think this would be something that he would love. This would be like a Tom Brady, bring it in, a big superstar player, making a statement, and he's a businessman at the end of the day. He'd be seeing dollar signs around Ronaldo.
Before we go to you, RJ, gentlemen, we're there. We've hit that 600 mark. I think we may have hit 601. But thank you. Thanks to everyone tuning in. It's been a while coming, but this is a nice way to start. And our man, the 600th sub, the only Chelsea
check him out on Twitter.
Like, besides the concierge. It's good, boys. Let's not stop the flow because I want to get more into this Ronaldo talk. I like this comment. I just want to show you, RJ, this comment from Borche. Where was it? He was
I thought you were going to stitch me up with concierge again. Come on.
No. The concierge is right. I like this comment. Rival fans in 21-22 saying Ronaldo's the problem. Now everyone wants him. Do you think he was their problem last season? Because I think he was.
You both said it was. So you both said he was the problem. And RJ said last year he wouldn't have him. So I'll be very surprised. I don't think RJ would change his mind on this. But
you acknowledge that too, Rob. You acknowledge he's a great individual, but didn't contribute 100%. To the team overall. And that's a nice segue to my answer.
100%. But I'm not just saying for you. I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans saying we would not take him last year. He's the problem. This and that. I've seen so many Chelsea fans now saying we'll take him. So I don't understand. It's very quick when the shoe comes off the other foot.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, mate. No, look, and I stand by what I said. I don't think he's not necessarily the problem, but he's not the solution. I think he's one of those players that we all know this guy is an enigma. He's achieved everything you can. His individual stats are incredible. He's just continues to defy logic. We all know that. The problem is with someone like him, because he's such he's so magnetic, everything gravitates towards him. I feel like it's at the detriment of others. I feel like you look at some of the stats of those creative players, and I feel like collectively the output of the team suffers, even though his personal contribution is really high. So it's just one of those situations where him being there it's not a result of his professionalism. In fact, he's inspirational. It's the fact that others around him somehow just they don't function better with him together now at this time of Ronaldo. And I think with Chelsea and the style that we play with the intensity under Tuchel and the pressing matter, I just think that, yes, it would be fantastic to have someone him at the club. But from a medium to long-term planning point of view, it goes against the logic of what we're trying to build at the club. So he would make an awesome commercial signing. He would definitely solve a lot of our conversion problems, which has been a problem as well. But equally, the build-up and him sticking in a fluid front three, does he give me the vibes of someone that's going to attack and defend from the front with a lot of pace and intensity for 90 minutes? I don't think so. And would he be someone that would be willing to take a bit part role as a substitute? Again, I just think the guy, he's self-driven, he's motivated, and he should continue to play in the Champions League. But respectfully, I don't think it'll be in the Premier League anymore.
You think he'd be a bench player at Chelsea?
Yes, I do.
Who starts up front? Who's starting over him?
Yeah, it's a good point. So
Please don't say Havertz.
Well, he's proven himself to be more fluid in terms of what him, Mount, obviously Pulisic on his day. And again, this window is not finished yet. So I don't think we would conclude the business with just him. Sterling, he's very close to coming in. Ronaldo would start some games. There's obviously a lot of games in a season, especially when you're playing Champions League. I know guys don't play that, but for those that play Champions League, in all seriousness though, Ronaldo would start some games, but I just don't think he would accept being relegated and being lesser important than what he's used to being. He will no longer be the man of the moment. He will be a great player, but he won't want to accept that. So that's what I think.
Look, for
would
me,
you take him on a 12-month contract?
What's that?
Yeah.
Would you take him on a 12-month contract?
Look, I'd say more so no. If we had to, I just don't think that's part of our strategic planning. If we had a director of football, you don't buy someone for 12-month solutions. You buy someone that's going to fit the longer-term plan. And the guy is as good as he isn't a long-term solution.
But the solution, I'm just saying 12 months, as in Lukaku's his loan is 12 months. He could go. There's no obligation to buy. So technically, it's still your player, an expensive player with a long contract. 12 months of Ronaldo, he goes and moves to France or Belgium or wherever he wants to go after. Lukaku comes back in maybe after.
But it's not that binary to me because he's got massive wages. You're still going to have to pay a transfer fee. And if you put him in the place of somebody else, you're stopping the development of somebody else or another prospective target that you could be buying for. So again, I don't think that's the area that needs addressing the most. Centre backs, number 1, left back, number 2, centre midfields, number 3, then attacking. So yeah, Ronaldo, respect him, love what he does. I don't think he belongs at Chelsea.
So I think you're off the mark, to be fair, when you say that's not an area that needs to be addressed. Havertz
number
is
one priority. I said number 1 priority.
All right. Well, it should at least be your number 2. You need centre backs. I'm with you on that. But Havertz isn't a striker. Werner couldn't hit a barn door with a machine gun. He's useless. You actually don't have. You're trying to do the Man City when you're nowhere near that tier. You don't have the striker. Even Sterling. If you ask me, who do I want leading the line, Ronaldo or Sterling? For me, it's Ronaldo every day. Like, obviously, Arsenal are nowhere near those conversations, and they won't be. But man, I'd take him 12 months in a heartbeat. Absolutely in a heartbeat. I know Marty in here.
That's short-termism to me, not for me.
Yeah, but mate, let's look at United a few years back, right? Signs a heavily injury-prone Robin van Persie from a rival for big money to get a couple of seasons out of him. But he won them that title. He won them a title. Sometimes it's short term is what you need to give a player extra time to develop or so on. But look, I'm not a Chelsea fan. I would rather him out of the league because he always scores against us. So I would rather him nowhere near the Premier League. Go to Germany, go to Bayern Munich. Lewandowski is going to go or has gone. So I'll be sending him there. But let's look at a couple of comments from the chat and then we can address some of them. Shouldn't have sold Tammy. Yeah. Do you regret this?
That's a good point for that. I regret him not getting enough time to really prove himself. I think he done well under Frank, and arguably that's a bit of a shortcoming on Tuchel. I'd love to hear Tuchel's thoughts on that. If he has any regrets, if he judged this one too early, it's probably more of a club thing, not just his decision. But yeah, agree. I think he should have been given a bit longer.
I think Declared's on the money here. Robbie, do you want to close this chat up on the GOAT? And I'd be spewing for you guys. I know a lot of you are going down to Melbourne to watch United's preseason tour. I'd be gutted for you guys if he's not there, because they're the kind of players that for us all the way down here, you only get to see them like once, twice in a lifetime when you live abroad. I genuinely hope you guys get to see him play, and then I hope he leaves you after the tour. But what do you reckon, Robbie? If you had to put your money on it, is he staying or is he going? And if he's going, where will he be playing?
Scott, you know me, I don't like to sit on the fence. I'm honestly torn here 50-50. I haven't. If he leaves, I'm honestly scared it's going to be to Chelsea. I just think that they have everything that he needs, and if they want to give it a crack for, even if it is a short 12-term month, I just think that, you know, take my United hat off in a neutral. I think they've got the money. I think they've got the Champions League. I think they've got a team that's probably better than us that can probably challenge for more honours. And, you know, if he's going to be selfish and just wants, you know, stuff like that, I think he could possibly upset a lot of United fans. I just don't see a lot of, you know, Bayern for me. I've always said PSG and Bayern if he's going to leave. PSG have pretty much come out and said no, but surely you'd think they wouldn't be able to, you know, the amount of wages they're paying now just on Mbappe, let alone Neymar and Messi there, it would have to be illegal of corruption. Bayern, for me, I said no off the start because Bayern's president's come out numerous times in plenty of years saying we don't sign older players, period. That's just our rule. They don't normally spend big on players either. So if Ronaldo was desperate enough to drop his wages for quite a bit, to get out, and then they said, okay, Lewandowski is going to Barca. We'll take him because he could do the German league for easier 1 or 2 seasons. That's pretty much a 2 or 3 horse race there. He'd go over there, he'd conquer the league, he'd win the treble every year, he'd probably break 30 goals a year, and they're going to challenge for the Champions League. So for me, I'd love for him just to go to Bayern just so he can add some more records to him. I want him to stay 1 more year and I'll be happy. I think a lot more people will respect him that little bit extra, you know, obviously with Europa League. Yeah, it's hard because I didn't expect this right now. We've gone through the off season thinking, okay, we're going to go out and buy all these players, but I didn't think I'd wake up a couple mornings ago and think, okay, well, Ronaldo now could actually walk and we need someone to replace his goals because, you know, there's the people out there that are already kind of on his back saying, walk now. If you don't love the club, there's the door kind of thing, which is fair enough. But 24 goals last season, and people are saying now that miraculously Marcus Rashford and Martial are going to go back to 2 seasons ago when they had their best seasons. Well, let's just go back 1 season ago when they had their worst seasons. So, you know, a lot of people are probably going to get that second chance and a clean slate under a new manager, but banking on 2 players like that, you know, Rashford isn't really down the middle player anyway. It's more Martial, and he's just come off his worst season, went on loan to Sevilla, didn't pull up any tree stumps there either. They sent him back. So a lot's riding on this, man. Like I said, Antonio said in this before, whatever happens, I want it to happen quickly so we can react to it.
Easy,
For me,
right.
I obviously want him to stay at the end of the day.
RJ, just quickly, does he stay or does he go?
I reckon he stays, to be honest. I think he stays in the end.
What do you think?
I think he stays. I don't think it's going to be quick, though. I think he's going to kind of drag this out, a little bit of a tantrum, a little bit of a Harry Kane situation last season, where you may not see him for all the preseason. And I do hope he travels down here for you guys. But, yeah, I think he stays.
Just quickly, surely United and the Glazers wouldn't be dumb enough to sell to Chelsea, because if there was, there's going to be there'll be riots. There really would be riots, man. We've already seen protests for stuff, you know, how everyone hates them anyway. If they were to sell to a direct rival like that,
I think the hate goes to Ronaldo, to be honest, over the Glazers.
I think it'll be split.
Because he's the one forcing it.
He'll lose respect from the thing, but I think that everyone will just lose it.
What jersey number would he take at Chelsea? Because he's not taking Kante, he's number 7,
I think
mate.
he'd
So
take
what's he
the
going
9,
to wear?
mate. I've seen the CR9 up a few times.
Yeah, possibly.
Boys, let's move on. let's talk a little bit about Arsenal. I'll give you my thoughts on some of our signings so far. Then happy to hear what you guys think. Obviously, the most high-profile one came the other day with Gabriel Jesus, who will be our main man in the attack. Not an out-and-out striker, not necessarily the kind of striker that I think is what we really need in this Arteta system. But I think a brilliant signing anyway. Like you don't say no to a player like Gabriel Jesus. He's very professional. He's dynamic. He's flexible and can play across the front three. I still think we need kind of an out-and-out physical presence up front. I've said it a million times. Old school Olivier Giroud, he would just make this team hum. But I'm excited about Gabriel Jesus. He knows Arteta. Arteta knows him. He's got excellent experience, and I think he's going to really, really help our attack. So, yeah, a good signing, and at a decent price. Someone here, Chris, saying he hits 15 league goals. I hope so. I hope so. Borche talking absolute smack.
Scott, just quickly, I was talking to G Talks Arsenal the other day, and a lot of I've read that he's said that he's keen to play off the wing, not down the middle. Obviously, you guys are looking for that number 9 to obviously replace your Lacazette, your Aubameyang. What do you think on this situation?
Mate, can I tell you what I think our first starting lineup's going to have up front? I think you're going to see Saka on the right,
number 14,
Jesus on the left, and Eddie Nketiah up top. I think you're going to see Eddie Nketiah up top. There are such big tickets on this kid. Arteta has begged him to stay multiple times because he's wanted to go. He has bulked up over the off-season, which I think is important. But I think he's going to start, and I think Jesus will be on the left, to be completely honest, which for me would frustrate me. But we're just going to have to wait and see. This is, I guess, one of the good things about our squad at the moment. You could rotate who's up there. You could honestly rotate it. I mean, even behind them, you could have Ødegaard, you could have Smith Rowe, you could have Martinelli on the left. Saka could play on the left. We've still got Pepe, the £72 million problem. So there's plenty that could happen, but this is what I guess Arteta wants. He wants a dynamic attack. I just think we're missing the physical presence. We've got speed, we've got flair, we've got that interchangeability, but we don't have any physical presence. All them crosses that we lob into the box are going to continue to fly overhead. So I'm hoping that there's more to come. Again, and I know Gunnar Steve always says this, the Aussie Gunnar Steve, sorry, Ivan Toney would be perfect up front at Arsenal. I would love to see him come in, but where does he play? And someone would have to sit on the bench. We've also signed Marquinhos from Brazil, one for the future. Trusty and Turner, who are both from the States. I'm not overly hyped about them. I think they were cronky signings, but Vieira, whoa. Right foot, left foot, again, plays across the midfield. We seem to keep signing these players that will just play all over. We've got players that can do a little bit of everything, but not necessarily masters. So 35 million quid. We're obviously backing this kid, but he can score, he can assist, he's got good numbers.
Who's he play over? You got Ødegaard, you got Smith Rowe, you got, like I said, a few players in that position.
It's mental, but I think he can play more of the number 8 as well. But your guess is as good as mine, and this is going to be one of the fascinating things about Arsenal this season. Your starting lineup, outside of the back four, could be God knows. What do you make of the signings, Robbie?
I think Jesus is a good signing for you guys. Yeah, I think you need your number 9. You know me, I was a big fan of Laka. I'm surprised he's gone. I'm surprised that him and Aubameyang win at the same time. I thought you could maybe would have, again, I would have kept him over someone like an Nketiah. Like I said, he's got the connection there with Arteta, which is massive. I think a big reason, like I've said a few times, he wanted to move from City as well, partly because it's a World Cup year, and he wants to be that leading number 9 of Brazil. and he wasn't getting constant game time at City. So, look, I think that's part of it. The quick thing I wanted to ask you, not on Jesus, back to what I was saying before. This Lozano Martinez, you guys are definitely still in the fight for this guy. What's your 2 cents on him?
Look, I don't know a lot about him, but again, another player who can play on the left or in the middle. Reminds me a little bit of Tomiyasu, who can play on the right or in the middle. But I think you guys will pip us to this. I feel like our name's just getting thrown in to bump up the value, Robbie. But yeah, I don't know enough about him as a player to know if he's good, but I'd assume he's not going to bench Kieran Tierney when he's fit. It's when Kieran Tierney's not fit that we have concerns, and unfortunately, that's been a bit of a problem. So, RJ, what do you think? Gabriel Jesus, do you think he'll do a good job?
Well, mate, I know you needed a saviour, but you need more than Jesus for poor old Arsenal. I think he's good. In all seriousness, the club as a whole has made some positive moves in this transfer window, so credit to them for investing. They should have invested in January. We both know you're very vocal on that, and rightfully so, I agree. Put their money where their mouth is now, just like they did the start of last season where they splashed the cash. Taking a few risks on some lesser known players, but Gabriel is a stable player. His goals and assists contribution per minute is good. Naturally, you have question marks about why the City want to let him go, why during his whole tenure was he so far back, and why did they have to replace him? But ultimately, City is in a league of their own, so it's not necessarily a criticism of him. But I think he's going to add value to Arsenal. It's just how much will he bridge the gap to where they need to get to? Solid signing. Is it a bit pricey? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But at the end of the day,
45.
45 in the end? 45. Yeah, it's not ridiculous, but at the same time, if he goes and performs above average, it'll be seen as a shrewd signing. So, yeah, I was more than happy to get him, as you guys know, but Arsenal got there in the end and hopefully doesn't do too much damage to us London clubs.
That's it. Look, speaking of London clubs, Spurs have been doing some business, and Marty, be keen to hear your comments in the chat, but they went and locked down Basuma, who has been cleared from his case. Kulusevski and Bentancur permanent. Who else have they brought in? Richarlison.
Perisic,
Richarlison. They're making some really, really good signings. And I say this with my Arsenal hat off. They're a stronger team than they were last season, and they finished 4th. Their form in the latter stages of the season was quite good too. You felt like Conte had started to get his grip and his system into the team. I'm nervous about Spurs next season, boys. I'm very, very nervous. Perisic is a winner. I know Kane and Son haven't really won anything, but someone like that in the dressing room will help them. Richarlison, look, I'm not fussed about him. I don't rate Richarlison. I think his smack talk is better than his footballing ability, but better backup than what they've had in the past. So
I agree with that, because I'm not a massive Richarlison fan too. He was linked to us early in the window, and I was all nose for it. But I think he's a good backup. That's what you need. Someone for him. This is a step up again. He's gone from Watford to Everton. He's going to Spurs. He's going to play Champions League football for the first time. He's going to, whenever Harry Kane needs a bit of a break or he needs an actual backup or someone gets injured, it's a good squad player to play. He can score and he can come up clutch on his day. I do think he's a bit overrated, and I think it was a bit of a pricey purchase, to be honest. But I said if Conte has been back and he's happy, doesn't matter about the dollar signs if he performs at the end of the day.
RJ, do you think they could make a push for a cup or the league with these signings? How much of a difference do you think they'll make?
Yeah, I think they will make a very material difference to Spurs, as hard as that is to say, of course. But I was speaking to a Spurs fan today, and a bloke, another subscriber to the channel, Nectar, if you're watching, mate, check it out. Positive praise for Spurs. But in all seriousness, if those players stay relatively injury-free, and with the new 5-sub rule, which we'll talk about at another point in time, I think that's going to be a real point of difference, particularly for those clubs at the top end of town. We know the intense way Conte likes to set up his teams. This these extra players just offer them quality depth, which is what they've been lacking. So in terms of how much difference are they going to make, mate, I'd put them in a top 2, top 3 conversation, no problem. Look, a title charge is such a big call to make, given the juggernaut that City continue to build, and we haven't even touched on the signings that they've made. They are still, for me, in a league of their own. People are sleeping a little bit on City still, in terms of if you scourge the social media pages, but Liverpool again are a well-established club that were on the precipice of winning the Champions League. So Spurs, not quite there yet for me, but are very much in the leading conversation of a top 3 spot.
Yep. I'm there too. And I know some of my fellow Gooners in the chat don't think they'll win anything, but I do have some fear that this could be the year, because once they win something, it's going to be unbearable. It's going to be absolutely unbearable.
Better enjoy it, boys, while it lasts, hey?
Because they've never done it. So, well, not while I've been alive. We spoke Spurs. We've talked Chelsea, Arsenal, United. Before we do move on, are there any other signings that you wanted to highlight, Robbie, or rumours?
Obviously, look, the big one around United, which I'm still skeptical about, is Frankie de Jong. He would be, United and Ten Hag's marquee signing, you'd think, this season. Since day one, I've been very skeptical if this is going to happen. We keep getting the same updates. Very close, very close, very close. Every day is very close. I feel like this guy's walking from Barcelona to Manchester or something. But, from what we've heard, he doesn't want to come. It's more of a push because of the whole situation of Barcelona. They need the money. We're happy to take him. Obviously, he's played under Ten Hag and performed well, especially back in the Ajax team that went all the way in the Champions League semi-final. For me, he's someone we need players in at the end of the day. So I'll happily take him, and he's definitely a better midfielder than your Scott or your Fred. But I want him, but I'm very nervous about it. If we were to get him, I think it could go very rocks or diamonds. Hit or miss this one. And I think he's going to have a lot of pressure. If we were to get him over the line, I think he's going to be the focal point of the team. And if he doesn't turn up and hit the ground running in the Premier League, I think things can go south quite quickly. So I really do want him. Ten Hag wants him, so I want my manager to be backed. But yeah, like from what we're seeing, I want to stay at Barcelona. The last thing I want to do is get a marquee player that didn't want to come. So we'll see how we go.
It's a good point. It's like the whole Rafinha thing that's left a sour taste in my mouth about Barcelona being his preferred choice. And look, I'm a little bit old school in the sense of you want players that genuinely want to be there, but you've also got to accept it's professional football at the end of the day. Not everybody's going to play for their dream club, and that's just part of business. And you've got to accept that as long as they do a professional job and they make a contribution, then you just take them with open arms. I think it's the way, though, in which certain transfer speculation unfolds. Like you hear stories of Rafinha, and the same with Frankie de Jong and Dembele to an extent too, saying, he's holding off and he's technically uncontracted. I think when it becomes such public noise that players don't want to go to a certain club, that's when I think, geez, the mindset can't be 100% focused and committed to the club that they're going to go to unless it's the one that they prefer. If they stay quiet, say I'm a Barcelona fan, for example, if I go to Chelsea, but if I don't say that publicly and keep it to myself, that's fine. But if I keep having my camp going out and saying, I only want to go to Barcelona and I eventually go to Chelsea, surely my heads can't be 100% in the game. So I'm with you, Rob. If they don't want to be there, mate, and they're making it very public about it, that's a massive red flag. Stay away from my
100%.
Well, yeah, the only thing I can think of, which I think common sense, is obviously Ten Hag definitely has a relationship with him. They've spent over 8 weeks on this deal. Surely he would have made a phone call and said, Frankie, I want you to be my main man. Are you interested in coming? Because if he's saying I'm sure he would have gave him a straight answer. Look, if they need to sell me, you guys pay the money, I'll happily come and be your main man over there. But if he says, look, mate, I'm really going to want to stay as much as I can. I'm hoping they're going to get the funds to keep me. It's my dream club, such and such. Let me go. Surely, they wouldn't keep going and going and going 8 weeks on. But, there's a lot of the window left, but there's also preseason tour plane that leaves on Friday. And you'd want under your new manager, you want to get your players in. So
I
I
think
just hope
Barca know you're desperate, to be honest, and they're gonna ride this out as long as possible and get the dollars from
what
you.
they've said the money is, it's not crazy money. Like, it could end up with bonuses and stuff, 80 million euros. So at the moment it's 60 million with 20 million
20 million
add-ons.
add-on, yeah.
And that 20 million add-ons is apparently what they're arguing, what's it got to be. Fair enough, it's not going to be a 5-second thing, but I still think it's a decent, for people that like to rinse us, I think trying to play a bit of hardball and not get rinsed as we normally do, because
Good luck.
someone like
Good
him would
luck
normally
with
be okay, 100 million if you want him, and that's it. But obviously the situation they are Barca are in, and I feel like Barca have about 6 players they're about to sign if he does go. They've got Kessie last night, Christensen signed, they want Lewandowski. Apparently Bernardo
Rafinha.
Silva from the City wants to go. The Rafinha is going to go. They're like, plus all the players that they've got, Aubameyang, I'm like, I feel like they just made a whole revolution. Like everyone said, oh, this is the dark days of Barca. Within 2 years, they're pretty much just, if this all works out, they're going to have a brand new team that can probably fight for honors again. So they're not mucking around for someone who's got like $1 billion of debt. So look, all will be revealed soon, and I hope it is soon, because I just want to get the player in, and that's it.
Boys, let's bounce on quickly. This comment from Tom, we've already talked about Haaland. We said everything you need to say on him last season. The guy's going to come in, he's going to win the Golden Boot, he's going to win the league. Like, it's clear. I think everyone kind of knows or assumes that. But Calvin Phillips the other day, for me,
What a signing.
I'll try and be really succinct. A great signing for them, a big loss for Leeds, who they're my early favourites to the drop, man. That's such a
especially for Rafinha Leeds as well. They're 2 biggest players out the door.
Yeah,
that's massive.
it's huge.
What a shame that would be, hey?
Yeah. But yeah, look, a good signing, Calvin Phillips as well, doesn't necessarily strike me as a Pep Guardiola kind of player.
I don't think he starts. He's a bench warmer, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. But
he's a good squad player.
What a bench player to have. I mean, you would love to have someone like that on your bench. RJ, do you have any other rumors or comments you wanted to make before we wrap this one up with some quick fires?
Yeah, just obviously on the Chelsea front, I mentioned Sterling, which is very close. Apparently, hopefully by the end of this week, we should lock that in. But there's a lot of debate about whether or not we want to also do a bit of a double deal and get former Blue Nathan Aki back to the club. It's divided a lot of opinion. He's a stable, solid defender. He's done well. He's very versatile in back 3 or 4. What's his market value? If they want to pay, for me, if they pay over 40 million, I think we've been our arm twisted in a very bad way here. So look, we could do a lot worse, but if we spend the big dollars on someone like that compared to some of the other names we've been linked to, I think that's sort of signs of desperation and last minute rushing. So yeah, just they're the sort of major things flowing in the background.
All right. It is quickfire question time. Again, for all those who have joined tonight, please make sure you smash the like button. Hit the sub button as well. We're now at 6:02. What a night. I know we did miss some other signings as well from some other teams. I know Palace in particular. But we are coming back again on Thursday evening. We'll open the stream up. If you want to jump in and talk about your team, you want to talk about some signings, some rumors, God knows what's going to happen by Thursday evening. We will post the stream link as well, and you're more than welcome to jump in and join us.
You know what, Scott? You know what I
Yes.
just realised as well, in terms of Liverpool, like the signing of Darwin Núñez and that, like obviously Mane, which I've been very vocal about, I think he's a top
Huge
player,
loss.
and I know he doesn't get the same plaudits as Salah and whatever, and congratulations to Liverpool, by the way, for locking him down. Big business for them. I think that's very important. I have my question marks about potential complacency, but he's not showing those signs. But Mane to Bayern, I think is going to go great guns for Bayern Munich. But again, talk about a club that's got all of their ducks in order and great running from the top to the bottom. Being able to get players like Diaz and now Darwin Núñez, that's great future planning, I reckon. So I think he's going to be another player that's going to unfortunately light up the league for the Reds.
Can't argue with that, man. Can't argue with that. And again, they get a little bit of the City treatment, Liverpool. They're in that tier, that bracket where you just kind of almost know your top 2 and you've got to talk about all the others to make up for it. But boys, we've gone nearly an hour tonight. So much for our 45-minute streams, but we've had a good time. Live chat's been pumping. The subs have gone up. But you know what? If anyone wants to call in, I know, Butcher, you've talked plenty of smack, mate. I would love to see you jump in on Thursday evening and tell us why your signings are holding. You haven't actually signed anyone, but maybe you can dream about some of the signings you'd like. Let's quickly do some quick fires. Robbie, I know you're always ready. You go first, my man.
No, I wasn't expecting quick fires tonight, but I did think of one.
If you're not
quickly.
ready, I've got one.
I've got one quickly. A player that you love, they always wanted at your club. It's only come up yesterday for me. That's why I've got the answer for it.
Are we ignoring the big ones like your Messis, your Ronaldos, all of them?
No, anyone you want. Anyone that you really like that you would have loved to have signed for your club.
So past and present, yeah.
Okay, you go, RJ. You first, mate.
Yeah, I'll go, obviously, Messi, of course, but being a bit different, I'll go Andrea Pirlo. I would have loved to see him at Chelsea, man. He was so close, but yeah.
Yeah, not a bad signing. Robbie, can you go first? I'm still thinking, man.
Del Piero for me, mate. One of my favourite players ever. Obviously, a Juventus legend, a Julie legend, but as it came up yesterday, like I said, back in 2006, I know Sir Alex was after him for a while. When obviously Juve got relegated to Serie B in 2006, I thought he might have made the transfer there, but he stayed loyal, went down, and brought him back up. But I would have loved to have seen him at the Theatre of Dreams.
Yeah, it's hard. Look, this is a great shout in the chat, and I'm going to steal it. Ronaldinho. Do you imagine him with Thierry Henry at the Arsenal? Don't worry about
or
Barca.
Nketiah.
Yeah. I've got nothing. I'm just going to shake my head and hope he proves the haters wrong, mate.
I hope you're getting Nketiah 14 on your third kit.
Mate, there is absolutely no way I will get an Eddie Nketiah 14 kit.
Live chat, we're setting up a GoFund for Nketiah 14 on the third kit for Scotty's birthday this year or something.
Mate, they can fund as much as they want. It would be on eBay the second I unwrap it.
Hey,
there
Robbie,
will never be another.
Give him a
never
seat,
be another
mate.
14. That's our number 14. Over
Thierry Henry. That's what they're going to say in a year's time.
That's the man. There's some good shouts in here. We've got Ronaldo. Daniel would love to see what might happen, Daniel, at one of your teams.
Batistuta is a shout.
Haaland from Matthew. Ronaldinho, I stole this one. I stole this from Chris and Matthew. Matt Letizia.
He could score a goal, couldn't he? What a wonder goal he could score.
Good player.
Speaking of wonder goals, mate, what a player.
Yes. All right, RJ, you got a quick fire for us, my man?
You know what? Actually, I don't. So I'm kind of uninspired tonight. I just thought we were going to talk transfers and get together for a quick chat. I didn't know we were doing quick fire. Although one just came to mind because I just finished watching the series Peaky Blinders. Not sure if anybody's heard of it. It's on Netflix anyway. Good little series. I suppose one of the question I had is, who's your favorite non-main actor in a series, or like non-main character? Sorry. So in this particular series, Tom Hardy plays this guy Arthur Solomons or whatever, and I think he's awesome. So Tom Hardy, big fan of his. So who's your favorite non-main character in a series?
That's hard when you're on the spot.
I'd have
love that series, but I do love his brother. What's his name? The one with the moustache. He's my second favorite person in that show. He's a top character.
Don't watch it, but I'm going to go with an actor's brother, Luke Wilson. I think he's a crack up, and he's always the second man to Owen Wilson. My quick fire for you. I'm going to put you on the spot, boys. Who is your least favorite subscriber we have? Prepare to go under 600. I'll go first to set the scene. For me, it's Borche. You know why? Because he is the Manchester United version of me. He talks too much smack.
That's not. You don't hate him. You love him, mate. That's a love-hate relationship. I've seen you guys on the couch there at Football Capital there, rubbing up shoulders and stuff, getting real close.
Yeah, nah.
We can never see your hands anywhere, you know. So,
he snuggles when the camera's off, mate. No. In all seriousness, though, boys, dream car. Let's just go dream car.
That's easy, mate. 458 Italia, Ferrari, or an R8, Audi R8. Easy.
RJ.
Just going to say, what a shout from Matthew, by the way. Sam from Game of Thrones. Looking forward to the next series, my man. I can't wait. The new one, it's in August, next month. My answer to your question, Scott, I'd have to... I knew you were going to say that, Tom. My answer is the 67 Shelby GT 500 from Gone in 60 Seconds. Eleanor, what a car.
For me, just a Shelby Cobra, man. We went for riding those on my wedding day, RJ. I just loved them, man. The way it hummed. Beautiful, beautiful. In relation to this question, because we are about to wrap this up, what do we have planned for next season? Same photos. Well, we've got some things planned. We're not going to go too far into it, but we will be doing a big season preview. We'll do some preview streams, and we might launch a couple of different things. But the plan will stay the same. Tuesdays, Thursdays, same time, same place. And this Thursday, 2 days' time, we will be doing a phone-in stream. So if you want to phone in, you want to talk smack, ask a question, address a rumor.
We might get Jesus on the phone. He might call us up or something.
That's it. But yeah,
it's a good point, though. Yeah, it's a good question. I was just going to say, though, if anyone in the live chat or those that watch or listen back afterwards, you got anything you want us to unpack from our perspective, or you've got some suggestion, feel free to jump into any of our DMs or post it, and we'll have a look and see what we can do.
Absolutely. And we will be doing FPL. We will, of course, be running the It's a Football Thing FPL comp again. Want to try and get some FPL people on, some who are much better than us three tragics, to share some tips and strategy and all of that. But we'll see how we go. Until then, we're back. It's been an hour. We've talked plenty. I don't know about you boys, but I need a rest. This is worn me out. We will be back on Thursday night. Please like, sub, share, leave a comment. All of that helps. Robbie, any final words?
It's good to be back, boys. See you Thursday night.
RJ?
Just happy to be here. Can't wait for the next one.
See you later on Thursday night. Make sure you're ready to phone in. Take care.